up too soon. Jesus, heat it back in dicks. Noise like that at 7 a.m. Holy hell. Could be worse. Where is this thing? How long have I been asleep for? What the hell? Oh. It's a problem.
Oh, gee, well, look at that, gentlemen. It's Spooktober month. And you know what that means? Too much candy. But also countless videos surrounding horror. And because I make videos now, and I have no idea where to take my YouTube channel, I better try to appease to the YouTube algorithm monster by doing some horror-related content.
Hey, you think you can give me some? Oh my god, oh my god! They're busy.
And because I basically like having no sanity whatsoever and think sleep is overrated, instead of just giving you 3 horror games that I played this year that were really good, I'm gonna do that, but I'm also gonna tell you about 3 horror games that I played through my life that were absolute shit. And what better way to start this list off than with the biggest surprise of the year for me? Out of nowhere, Mandalore Gaming, blessed be his nutsack, releases this review about this game called No One Lives Under the Lighthouse. In the review, he recommends this game without any second thoughts.
Bro, you run fast as fuck here. Spaghetti. What the fuck? Oh my god. Well, dude, this was super predictable and it still scares the shit out of me.
You see, most horror games nowadays opt to go with the jump scare fast route.
God damn it, Kinga, it stopped being funny the second time you tried it. You're at double digits now, just stop. Just like full on stop, please stop. God.
And while this game still presses the jump scare button here and there,
I also gotta keep an eye on the insignias. Who would have thought the fucking seagulls were the first thing that would have got to me? God damn it.
it mostly goes for the slow burner route that gradually becomes weirder and weirder as you play. For example, you're supposed to spend 1 week in the island taking care of the lighthouse, and all you're told is that the previous owner just disappeared. Weird, but still fine. So you get a costume to the controls, go visit your lighthouse, go visit your house, and off you go to taking care of said lighthouse. And then this happens. Again, weird, but still nothing to be really worrying about. Day 2 kicks up a notch. Day 3 looks like this. By now, you can tell that this kinda doesn't look like a game coming out this year. Hi, late night hours Kindajesus over here, letting you know that No One Lives Under the Lighthouse actually came out in April 21st, 2020. Yeah. Which kinda defeats the purpose of the best horror games of 2021. Just kidding! No, the game really did release in 2020, but they actually released a director's cut of this game a couple of weeks ago, in fact, and it overhauled half of the game, as well as it changed completely the texture work of certain specific places. And so I think it still counts as a game released in 2021, as the work they did for free, I might add, was really, really good. So I'm still gonna keep it. Bye. That's because they went with a art style called Haunted PlayStation 1 games, pretty self-explanatory there, which I never knew I needed, by the way, until I realized that they use this technique to allow your brain to fill in the gaps of what's going on. Whoever made the sound design for this game also deserves a special mention, as he/they are just a genius. This is the part where I would just lay down my criticisms for this game, but truth be told, nothing really stood out to me as being bad. Any other criticisms I could possibly have, like having no voice actors or some objects just being way too low poly, are either stylistic choices or they just didn't have the budget to do it properly. Did I mention this game is made by a small 3-man polish team? Yeah, they definitely need all the help they can get. Look, if you only have $5 to spare and are looking for a really solid 2 to 3 hour horror game, this is undoubtedly the game I recommend the most out of this entire list, especially if you like Lovecraftian stories. Now, one good tip I have for you is just make sure you're never alone in the dark. Alone in the dark illumination makes me want to be alone in the dark, because eventually one of my friends is gonna find out I played this game and never talk to me ever again.
Boo! Hey, buddy, I played Alone in the Dark Illuminations.
You what, mate? We're not friends anymore!
Alone in the Dark Illuminations was supposed to be this Left 4 Dead-ish co-op shooter style game where you jump from level to level doing some missions and killing some darkness? Yeah, darkness. What the fuck? Now, it's important to state that this was a game developed by Atari in 2015 as their last-ditch effort to keep the lights on. And given that this is on the worst horror games part of the video, I want you to take an educated guess as to where they are right now. This is the part where I would talk about the story. But you know what? Let's take a listen to it instead.
The unnatural darkness that blanketed the remote town of Lorwich, Virginia, did not deter Theodore Ted Carnby. His experience as a supernatural private investigator.
I didn't edit this at all. And it's not just on the voice acting either. Every sound, from your gun all the way to the soundtrack of the game, is like this. Oh my god. Okay, so this has to do with sound peaking, which happens when you either made the sounds way too close to the microphone or you bought your mic from Wish at $3. However, gameplay-wise, it's also a mess. Well, at least they're consistent. Because this is a co-op shooter, you have classes. You have your commando, your witch, engineer, and priest. Each class is supposed to work together through this mission, but because I have friends that even if I paid them they would never touch this game ever, I started playing as the commando because I thought it would be the easier one to play solo. Big mistake. To kill the darkness, you have to shine a light on it, and as a commando, you can empty an entire M16 mag on one creature before it fucking dies. There's always at least 3 or 4 around you every single time. You can use stronger lights to make them weaker, But satellite is in a small area and you still have to shoot half your goddamn mag. Somehow, however, I got the first part of the mission where you have to do the 4 fetch quests, got swarmed with monsters, and goddamn died. On my next playthrough, I played as the witch to see what kind of powers she has, and oh, she one-shots them. And if you use her second ability on lights, your primary attack bounces from monster to monster. At this point, the only difficult part with her is actually walking from point A to point B. What's the point of the commando if you have a witch that one-shots every type of mob you have? I would stay to find out if she keeps going like this or not, but the game crashed on me and I saw this as an excuse to check out some other games from the industry. Industria is probably the hardest game for me to review, and that's because it has all the danger signs I usually associate with a bad game. A few too many bugs, it needs some optimization, the weapon selection is the most vanilla thing ever despite the setting, and finally, it's only around 4 hours long. However, I still have no doubt on recommending this game to everyone. Very rarely do I go through a video game feeling someone's passion just oozing out of the game. Not that there's video games with no passion being made. We all know FIFA is a copy and paste job, but I'm 100% sure at least one guy in the office really loves what he does. But this game just hits different. The rooms filled with small objects to interact with and play around, the story feeling quite different, knowing that you caused the situations the world is in right now, and the only thing you care about is your loved one. At least initially, but I'm not spoiling the rest. The subtle hints and cracks being reflected on the voice acting, the self-doubt starting to kick in, the very human-like talks the main characters has with others. Hello, Mass Effect Andromeda, how have you been?
See? No reason we can't be civilized.
The supernatural elements creeping slowly in the environment as you play, the atmosphere of loneliness creeping in. I can keep going all day, but I don't wanna. This is not a shit your pants horror game, nor it's trying to be, and admittedly, I think the developers' ambitions were not fully realized as the game ends way sooner than it should have. But just trust me on this one, okay? $20 for some good 4.5 story-driven goodness hours with some psychological horror on the background might just be up your alley. I just hope that for the sequel they go with the Aliens Did This route. Alien School New Marines is fundamentally broken beyond belief. We're going off script for this one. Hi, off script KJ here. Going off script and telling you why Alien School New Marines is in here. And it's very simple. Because it broke my passion for video games. It destroyed my passion for video games. I used to love games. I used to play games on repeat because I loved them so much. Games like Dishonored, where I was so blown away that you could do the same objective but in completely different routes in completely different ways. Or games like Super Mario 64, one of my very first 3D games ever, and I remember being blown away that I could move in so many directions and jump and actually see my character move. Just blew my mind when I was a kid, right? I have so many memories of just really enjoying video games, and Alien Colonial Marines killed that. Randy Pitchford killed that. Randy Pitchford, the Gearbox CEO, lied to his teeth about this game. And this started at the moment where I kind of started consuming way too many news related to video games. So I completely bought in to the idea that Aliens Colonial Marines was going to be the greatest game of all time for me. Huge Aliens fans, huge survival horror fan. The stars aligned. Gearbox, the company responsible for Borderlands. I used to love Borderlands, right? How could it go wrong? Randy Pitchford is what went wrong. All the lies and deceits just fed to the publishers, to the game journalists, to me, the fans, to everyone. It really showed me what a AAA company was, what a company like Gearbox could be, what a publisher like Gearbox could be. A money-greedy goblin attempting to steal your money. That's what I thought every single major company was, and I was really close to giving up games entirely. To prove a point, I bought 6 Call of Duties in a row, and somehow I still don't regret it. It was dark. It definitely were dark times, and that's kind of all I bought. I bought all the multiplayer games because my friends were playing it, and that's how I kept playing games, until 2 games in specific saved me from keep going on that route. That's a topic for another video. I really want to touch on that. I think that's a really good video, but Aliens Colonial Marines showed me what a gritty publisher is, and those 2 games showed me that there's a huge difference between what a publisher is and what the people that are making the game are. Anyway, I just wanted to say that I think going off topic here was better. Let's move on with the video, shall we? So what makes Aliens Colonial Marines bad? Everything. Story being canon and making no sense whatsoever. Sound design. Samey levels. Cringe dialogue. Bugs. More bugs. Being an alien game and spending half of the game fighting fucking humans. Teasers with no payoffs. False advertising. What, you thought I was fucking done? Randy Pitchford saying the game deserves a 7.5 out of 10, and that we were exaggerating.
So it was like a 7.5 game, which I think would have been fine for an Aliens game.
Good joke, Randy! Squishy aliens. An encyclopedia of cut content. A fucking typo causing the xenomorphs to behave even worse. Doesn't change much, to be honest. Oh yeah, and more bugs. And these are just the things that I remember from 8 years ago. I'm sure if I sat down and played this game from start to finish and actually did more research about this game than 30 minutes I dedicated to all of this, it would have given me plenty more sausages to throw at that goddamn Randy's face. One game that made me regret saving up my money for months. Just stay away from this one. I just hope that the inscription on this game's tomb just says "fuck" with a picture of Randy right next to it. Inscription is the type of game that catches your eye really quick, but then shows you that it's a card game and also roguelite, and you'll most likely lose all interest like I did when the demo came out. But here's the thing. This one just hits different. So, you open up the game and the first thing you notice is how stylish the menu looks. Cool. But most importantly, there's no new game option. What? Alright, so you press continue and it takes you to the beginning of the game. Is it a bug? No. We'll get to that. So you proceed to do the tutorial, which is nothing Wait, did that card just talk to me? Are the cards trembling because they're being sacrificed? Fast forward a bit, and now my card is telling me he understands why I sacrificed them in the first place, and I'm liking this. Little interactions like this add so much to this game. This blew my mind because it wasn't something I was really expecting out of these two genres combined. They already had me on how cool and creepy the setting and animations were, but they went a step beyond that to make sure that you feel the psychological horror just oozing around you. After learning a few mechanics here and there, you fight the main boss of the game, but he's also the guy that helps you out, and the storyteller? And he's the next boss too? That establishes, though, that his actions are that of the judge, jury, and executioner. He's losing? Nah, he's not. You killed him too fast. You see, that doesn't count. He might give you an incredible choice of cards, but in the next choice of cards, you get handed the equivalent of a breadcrumb to feed his seagulls. You see, through his eyes, you're not here to win. You're just here to entertain him like everyone else does. Oh yeah, after you die, the monster basically takes a picture of you and you become the card in the game. And that's why there's no new game status. You're just continuing someone else's save. Are you starting to see how intricate but interesting this game starts opening up to be? Everything I'm showing you is just from Act 1 alone, and I really don't want to spoil the rest of the game for you, as the true gameplay, outside of playing cards, only really starts in the second act, and boy, is it a big change. I would love for the developer of Inscription to be all over my lands. Land of the Dead is... these are getting worse and worse. Land of the Dead is a game based on a movie that should be enough to convince you to stay away from this game, right? Oh, not convinced? Alright, roll the footage. Fine, let's talk about it. We all know about the one rule we have. 99% of the video games based on movies and vice versa are complete are complete shit. And this is no exception. From guns that are about as accurate as a man when he has to go to the toilet and pee but he's drunk. Oh, that was actually a good shot. The levels are very repetitive, with the middle portion of the game suffering the most from it. Oh, that's a good detail for 2006 standards. Huh. The inconsistency of how many shots it takes to kill a zombie. Man, killing a zombie here kind of has a charm to it. Wait, am I enjoying this shit game? Yes, actually. Well, surprise but sex, I actually enjoyed this game. Don't get me wrong, this game is bad in every way, shape, and form. And all other criticisms I had still stand, and man, they stand strong. But out of the 3 bad games I covered, this is the one I got all the way to the end credits. I guess little goth KJ back then was too busy counting the amount of t-shirts he had that looked exactly the same black, instead of letting funny haha KJ seeing zombies give up on their life when I hit them with big shovel. At the end of the day, some of us just play games because we want a bit of a distraction from the real world. A place just to forget about everything else for a couple of hours and just do whatever we want. And in my case, sometimes, even though a game might be a obvious cash grab that doesn't own anything original to it, barely works, repeats every mission structure to go here, oh, something is preventing you from passing, go there instead, has friendly enemies, etc., even though all of that is there, sometimes you just really want to bunk some zombies in the head. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for almost watching 30 minutes of Kindajesus. I promise I won't take that much of your time. I just want to let you know two things. One, I'm sorry it took me so long to upload a video. I had some problems related to my family. Fortunately, I fixed those, so we're definitely back on full-on editing and full-on streaming. We'll get to that. And I really want to let you know that it's definitely not going to take 3 months to upload a new video. I'm aiming for 3 to 4 weeks to upload a video. These take quite a lot of editing time, a lot of recording time, a lot of time overall, and stream plus editing is not really that easy to just fumble. But I definitely am looking for a 3 to 4 week period on uploading videos. My definite goal is 2 weeks. But I'm still very clumsy on editing and scripting, and it's a mess. And I still have a lot to learn, so it's gonna take a long time for me to get there. So expect the next video in around 3 to 4 weeks. Number 2, this lovely video is brought to you by me. Just me. I go live every day on Twitch. Saturdays are my day off, but other than Saturdays, every day at 9 p.m. British Central Time, come say hi, probably have a discussion about aliens, colonial marines. Please don't. Wow, I take that back immediately. Please don't. But other than that, please come say hi. We'll talk about whatever you want. It's a good fun time. Like this video, subscribe to the video. Thank you so much for the 490 subscribers, really close to 500, and thank you so much for the support on the last video. That's it. Bye bye.